Right now, millions of Americans living on fixed incomes are feeling the squeeze like never before. Prices keep climbing, and Social Security just isn't stretching as far as it used to. Your monthly check might technically be the same, but it's buying less and less. Groceries, rent, medical bills, everything's going up, and you're feeling it every single day. But here's the thing, something big is brewing in Washington. Something that could actually put real money back into your pocket. And it couldn't come at a more critical time. We're talking about a potential $7,500 stimulus payment, possibly even twice, aimed specifically at Social Security and SSDI recipients. And no, this isn't just internet rumor or clickbait. There are actual proposals being discussed right now, with payment timelines already in conversation. The IRS system is ready. The framework from past stimulus rounds still exists, and the political momentum to help seniors and disabled Americans is building fast. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening, who might qualify, when these payments could land, and most importantly, what you should be doing right now to make sure you don't miss a single dollar you're entitled to. Let's get into it, and I want to be completely upfront with you here. Understanding what's real and what's just noise takes a little digging. You've probably seen tons of posts promising miracle payments or guaranteed checks. I get it, people are tired of being misled. That's exactly why we're going to break this down step by step, focusing only on what's actually moving through Congress and what you can realistically expect in the coming months. Now, this push for extra relief didn't just appear out of thin air. It's been slowly building since the last pandemic stimulus checks went out. Remember those COVID payments? The government proved it could get money directly to Americans fast. The system worked. The direct deposit pipelines are still in place. The IRS already has the necessary information for Social Security and SSDI recipients, and both parties know it. What's different now is that the economic pressure is hitting fixed income Americans harder than anyone else. When we talk about inflation, it's not some abstract buzzword. You're living it. The milk that used to cost $3 now costs 5. Prescriptions are pricier. Housing and insurance costs are up. Utility bills? Also higher. Every single basic expense has climbed, and while your Social Security check has gone up a little thanks to cost of living adjustments, those increases haven't come close to covering the real rise in costs. On paper, it might look fine, but in the checkout line or at the pharmacy counter, you know it just doesn't add up. That growing gap between what you get and what you need is the main reason lawmakers are under pressure to act. So, where does this $7,500 figure come from? It's not random. Several proposals floating around Congress point to it as a fair estimate of how much purchasing power the average Social Security recipient has lost in recent years. Some plans suggest one big lump sum payment. Others suggest two smaller ones spread out across the year, and that second option seems to be gaining traction. The idea is that splitting the payments makes it easier to budget and also fits better into federal spending plans. Right now, most of the drafts and discussions center around two potential payment windows. The first could fall between late spring and early summer, so we're talking May or June. The second would likely come in the fall, around October or November. But remember, none of this is official yet. These are proposed timelines, not confirmed ones. A lot has to happen first. The bills have to go through committees, get approved by both the House and the Senate, and finally be signed by the President. Along the way, the amount, eligibility, and timing could all shift. That's why different news sources sometimes report slightly different details. They're referring to different versions of the same evolving proposals. What makes this moment stand out, though, is the mix of political and economic pressure. Both major parties know that seniors and disabled Americans are a powerful voting group, and with major elections on the horizon, that matters. On top of that, the data is crystal clear. Senior poverty rates are climbing, and more older Americans are being forced to pick up part-time work or depend on family just to make ends meet. Advocacy groups have gotten louder, more organized, and they're demanding action. Now, let's talk logistics, because if these payments do happen, you'll want to know exactly how they'll reach you. If you currently get your Social Security or SSDI through direct deposit, that same account would be used for any new payments. The IRS would work with the Social Security Administration, just like they did with the previous stimulus rounds. If you get your benefits on a direct express debit card, the payment would go there. If you still receive paper checks, you'd get a paper stimulus check too, though that usually takes longer to arrive. Here's something really important that often gets overlooked. Make sure your information with Social Security is completely up to date. If you've moved, changed banks, or noticed any errors in your records, take care of it now. You don't want to be approved for a payment only to have it delayed because your info wasn't current. You can fix all of that easily by calling Social Security, visiting a local office, or updating your details online through your My Social Security account. As for eligibility, the proposals right now generally include anyone receiving Social Security retirement benefits, SSDI, or supplemental security income. Some versions mention income limits, meaning if your total income is above a certain threshold, your payment could be reduced or phased out. But other versions are more universal, suggesting everyone on Social Security or SSDI should get the full amount regardless of income. The most commonly discussed limits hover around $50,000 for individuals or $100,000 for couples, though those numbers could shift as lawmakers debate. It's also key to note that these payments would be in addition to your regular benefits. They wouldn't reduce your monthly Social Security check, affect your Medicare or Medicaid eligibility, or count against any other state or federal programs. This would be pure supplemental relief, just like the pandemic stimulus payments were. So, what should you be doing right now? First, stay informed, but make sure your sources are legitimate. Stick to official websites like ssa.gov or irs.gov and avoid sketchy social media posts or messages. Scammers are already taking advantage of this buzz, pretending to be government agents to steal personal info. Remember, the IRS and Social Security will never call, text, or email you asking for your bank info or Social Security number. If someone does hang up, delete and move on. Second, if you haven't already, set up your My Social Security account. It's free, it's secure, and it lets you manage your information, check your benefits, and stay ready for updates. Having that account already set up could save you hours of frustration later if these payments roll out quickly. And finally, think ahead. If a $7,500 payment, or two of them, came your way, how would you use it? Everyone's needs are different. Maybe it's medical bills, home repairs, paying down high-interest debt, or just building a small emergency cushion. Whatever your priorities are, having a plan means you'll make the most of it when the time comes. The truth is, these proposals are about more than just short-term help. They're a signal that our country is recognizing how hard it's become for older Americans and people with disabilities to keep up with the cost of living. Social Security is vital, but it wasn't built for the kind of economy we're in today, where housing, healthcare, and daily essentials are all rising faster than the adjustments can keep up with. These potential payments are an acknowledgement that the system needs reinforcement, not replacement. Over the next few months, pay close attention. These proposals might get attached to larger budget bills or economic packages, even if you don't see them headlined as standalone stimulus legislation. The movement might be quiet at first, a committee hearing here, a vote there, but when you see those steps start happening, that's your signal to watch closely. And beyond personal relief, there's a bigger picture here. When Social Security and SSDI recipients get extra funds, that money doesn't just sit in a bank. It goes right back into local economies. It helps small businesses, pharmacies, grocery stores, and service providers. Economists call this the multiplier effect. Every dollar spent circulates and strengthens the community. Of course, not everyone in Washington agrees on how to make this happen. Supporters say it's the right thing to do, both morally and economically. Critics worry about costs and inflation. And somewhere in the middle, lawmakers will likely find a compromise. But one thing's certain, the discussion is serious, and it's happening right now. So as the year unfolds, keep an eye out for those pivotal moments, committee votes, floor debates, presidential statements. Those are the signs that real progress is being made. And when you hear that a bill has passed or been signed into law, that's when you'll know it's time to pay close attention to your mail, your account, and your My Social Security portal, because that's when the payments become real.